Welcome to the Cognizant Crone. This is day 31 of the 365-day vlog challenge. So I am tired and sweaty and thirsty, so I have my water with me, and I just did my little morning workout, and it got me thinking about weight loss or like health kind of stuff. Well, I'll probably talk about weight loss just because it's an easy topic. Everyone understands it. Well, at least has been subjected to it or knows people who have, like, people get the topic. But from a spiritual perspective. So I wanted to do this now. I wanted to record this now before I forget, because I have great ideas in the morning and then by the evening I forget them when I go to film. And I'm not smart enough to write them down or anything. So I think I'm going to start filming in the morning. I think that's a good idea. So anyway, day 31. So, of course, disclaimer, this is not professional advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist, whatever, all those things. I'm just some chick on the internet, like, talking about her stuff, okay? So, live life with your brain turned on, please, right? Here's the thing. There's a lot of different viewpoints, different but the same, when it comes to losing weight and getting into shape and stuff like that. More like weight loss. Okay, sorry, I'm going to stick to weight loss. Let's talk about losing weight from a spiritual perspective. So I've seen a few different takes on this. So, like, some people will say, well, you know what? If you're spiritual and you know how to work with energy and stuff, you can eat whatever you want and then just transmute it and your body's going to be fine. It's all about the energy you put into the food that's going into your body. And yes, I believe that's true. I honestly do. I believe that is possible and I believe it is true. However, you need to believe it as well. As you are putting that Twinkie in your mouth, you really need to consciously and subconsciously believe that it's true. And that's where people get tripped up. I'm going to talk about this a lot because this is the path I'm going down in terms of continuing education and energy work as I get into the whole NLP thing. Your subconscious is going to be that super teeny, might be microscopic little thought in the back of your head as you're eating it going, I know I shouldn't be eating this. And if you can't control that, then you're doomed. It's not going to work. I think there is a very, very, very rare percentage of people who truly believe it doesn't matter what they eat and whatever. And I'm not talking about the people who aren't looking at it from a spiritual perspective. Like, I know people who are skinny and they can just eat whatever they want. And they're like, just whatever, I don't even think about it, which is why they don't gain weight. Doesn't mean they're healthy. You can be skinny and be unhealthy, and that's a whole other topic. I'm talking about from a spiritual perspective. It doesn't matter what I put in my vessel. The universe can transmute it and whatever, okay? Very rare that would actually work. If you are one of those rare people, put a comment. Tell me about it, because I'm fascinated and curious to hear about this. So it's kind of a myth debunked. Okay, it's got potential, but hey, I know I can't do that. I know I can't. Like, I am not there, not yet anyway. Which is why I have to do other things to manage my my diet, my health. So there's that. So yeah, can you just eat what you want and tell your body to get rid of whatever it doesn't need? Sure, if you subconsciously can control that, have at her, right? Kudos to you. You are my hero, because I would love to be able to do that. At this point in time, it's not going to work for me. So whatever. And if it works for you, fantastic. Like I said, put a comment. And then there's what you eat, right? So, and I'm not going to get into a big, huge political debate about ethics around what you eat. So whether it's GMO, non-GMO, animal products or not, and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. Listen. I have been a vegan and I have been a carnivore and everything in between on that scale, right? I've tried just about everything. And at the end of the day, I am okay with eating animal products. And to me, it's more like super processed and junky foods. That is common sense. Vegans and carnivores can probably agree on that. Don't be eating the Oreos and the Doritos and the McDonald's and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Automatically, you're going to be healthier. Whether you choose to eat plants or animals, that's a whole other thing. But it's individual to your body. And to that point, I have a story. And this is sort of an anecdotal view on whether humans should eat plants or animals or both or whatever, okay? So check this out. This is a true story. So years ago, I had a friend who was a vegetarian, and she chose to become a vegetarian for ethical reasons. She didn't, think that you should eat animals. Well, not all animals. She ate fish, but that's a whole other thing. So she was primarily a vegetarian, and I eat meat, like I'm very open about that. And one day we were having this conversation about when we were little kids, and we were talking about our diets or what we eat or whatever. And she said she remembers that she was looking at this book that her mother had kept. So it's like back in the 70s and 80s. I don't know if people do it now, but it's a big thing. You would get this book when you had a baby, and you would put like record when they took their first walk, when they did this, when they did that, and all kinds of stuff about you as you were like a baby and into a toddler or whatever, like first year of life or first 2 years or something. And it was like a cutesy thing, right? You could put pictures and stuff, sort of like a scrapbook about baby's first year. And there was a section that asked about what, like, your baby's favorite foods, because we're humans, we all have favorites, right? And her mom wrote in it, Trish is a really good eater. The only thing she doesn't like is meat. And she ended up becoming a vegetarian, which I thought was interesting. And she loves fruits and vegetables. She will eat any fruit and vegetable. Whereas me, when I was a kid, the only thing I would eat would be meat and potatoes, because potatoes are delicious and like gift from God kind of thing. But like, do not put a vegetable near me. Don't do it unless it's a potato or corn, which to me don't even count as vegetables anyway, right? Or ketchup, which is just loaded with sugar. That's a whole other story. But it was meat. Like, the first thing I wanted on my plate was the steak or the pork chop or the chicken or whatever. I went for the meat. And it's interesting that my diet and what works for my body is mostly animal products. Now, this friend of mine, had a ton of health problems too, which, I mean, maybe for her body, maybe it wasn't the best thing, maybe it was. Well, she didn't have a ton of health problems, but she did have some. But so do I. And is it diet related? Maybe, maybe not. But I thought it was interesting that even as babies and small children, innately, we know what our body needs. Hers needed the fruits and vegetables. Mine needed the protein. It needed that meat, right? So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So I don't think there is a right and a wrong, and I'm not going to judge anyone for that. So, yeah, like, I know there are people in the spiritual community who say, well, you can't eat animal products and otherwise you're going to go to hell or whatever. I don't know. They think you're a terrible person. And I'm like, whatever. Okay. If that's what you believe, great. Is that a true spiritual thing? Does God really not want humans to eat animals? I don't believe that. That's just my spin on it. And you can quote whatever Bibles and books you want. I really don't care. It doesn't matter. I know what works for my body. So why would God have me eat animal products, which makes me the healthiest I've ever been, if he didn't want me eating animals? Then he would have it so that when I was a vegan and only eating like clean foods and the fruits and the vegetables, and not a lot of fruit either, and grains and all of that stuff, I didn't feel so great. Why? Right? I don't know. That's just my take on it. Anyway, And like, no judgment to anyone who eats whatever they want, because I don't care. And you know what? If you eat Twinkies and Doritos, I don't care about that either. I've been that girl. I've been there many times. So from that perspective, you know, do what's right for your body, right? And if it's an ethical thing, that's, I think there's nothing wrong with that either, as long as it's not harming your body, right? Maybe you're a vegetarian who does need some animal products. Could be. I don't know enough about that, so I'm not going to speak to that side of it. I'm speaking from personal and spiritual perspective. So I think, you know, where I'm going with this is, I think that, like, you hear me say this, I know I'm a broken record, but use your discernment, right? What resonates with you? What makes sense to you? Do the best you can. And I think at the end of the day, if you're not eating like super processed crappy food, or at least minimizing it as much as you can, you're doing your body good. At the end of the day, this is the vessel we have been given to incarnate in. And we're supposed to take care of it. You know, people say, well, it's, you know, that's the other thing. We're a spiritual being having a human experience. So the body doesn't matter. And I hear stuff like that all the time. And it's like, ultimately, no, it's just the meat bag. I get it. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you can treat it like a trash can. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do your body good, because it is housing that spirit, right? It's housing that energy that you're going to carry around for decades and decades before you depart, right? Before you leave the vessel. So take good care of it. You know, it's like living in a house that's a rental and going, well, it's just a rental. Who cares? I don't care if it's dirty or falling apart. No, like, honor where you live. I spoke about that the other day for the Chinese New Year. I was talking about that. Ways to bring good energy into your home, right? And it's like, you have to honor that, and you have to honor your body. So do the best you can. Do you have to be perfect? No. Trust me, I'll eat pizza and I will eat cupcakes and Doritos. I'm just not going to do it all the time, right? And the gauge is, how does your body feel? If you're honest with yourself, you'll know. So I'm going to leave it there. Tell me your thoughts around diet, what you eat from a spiritual perspective. I'm not talking the 3D, well, science says this and blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, I'm thinking spiritual perspective. What is your take on it, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So I'm going to leave it there, wrapping up day 31, and I will see you tomorrow for day 32. Made it through a whole month. Yay me. Pat on the back. See you tomorrow.